right, so this is my interview with my mentor. I love this woman here. So we are looking at my first video and feedback for standard one. So I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, so the lesson was great. I just jotted down just a couple of things that areas that I can see for you to some grows and glows.
Okay.
We can do the grows.
Okay.
We can do the grows first.
Because I'm all about wanting to get better in this entire process. So for me, I want to know that first.
Okay. So with the do now, was there a modification for the SPED or the challenged student? So I know that there's 7 minutes. They were supposed to do what? You gave them answers and they were supposed to answer a question. What was it?
Well, actually, it was the test from chapter 4. So if the student had read the chapter like they were supposed to for homework and do the comprehension questions that were given to them, when they came in to do the test on the next day, it was the actual questions from the homework assignment. So it would have just been an extension of what they had already done.
Okay.
So hence the 7-minute time.
Okay. So I see everything through a SPED lens.
Okay.
And because we do have a lot of students that are not on grade level here at Hart, I would have done an example with something simple, not anything pertaining to what you were doing.
Okay.
Just an example. So what I'm asking, because sometimes even though we think it's the simplest of directions, they just may not get it. You understand?
Okay.
You feel me on that?
Got it. So just make sure that I do a simplistic example. Okay.
And then not just for them, for everybody who may
But for
have
everybody.
Yeah, because at this age they tend not to ask for fear of, like especially that SPED student, they feel they shouldn't be there anyway. In middle school, they just don't want to appear to be wrong.
Okay.
So they may not ask. They may just sit there, and not that they're scared to ask you per se, but they just don't want to, because your classroom is very inviting, very warm. So I don't see why anybody would not want to. However, they're 12 and they're 13 years old. When your class is 13, 14, 15. I know that from the because I can only speak on what I saw.
Okay.
So the timer. Do you have a timer?
I do, and
how do I know when I'm getting? And they have no concept of minutes. So what I was going to suggest is that you do a split screen. So there are apps. What it is where you can actually put the little timer on the assignment. It's where you can put
just link it to the assignment,
and it will sit up there in the corner and tick down.
Okay, because normally I do a timer, so when I don't actually have it up on the screen and they have the documents in front of them.
Except they have the documents in front of them.
I put it up on the screen, which is what I do, and I've
right.
done that before. So, and I continue to do that. But with the this particular one, because I put it up on the smart board, I just used my phone, and I just allowed the beep, 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 and I would tell them, oh, we got 2 minutes or we got 1 minute. So that's where you saw like it's 6 minutes or it's 3 minutes or whatever in the video. So I'll remember to do that and look up the split screen for that.
Okay. Also, try to provide students with the roles up front of if they're the facilitator, if they are the objective reader, or they're the do not responder, or whatever. That's going to be teach 8, I think, maximizing instructional time. Because when clearly it took just a few seconds but you were like, so and so and so and so and so, but if they know up front, because it releases some of that anxiety for them, and boom, they already know what's next. You already know what's next. Okay, you own, Brandy, you own. Nasir, you own. They know because you've already told them that you're going to be, or you're going to do equity sticks, or you're going to list it on the board, because you know how you rotate them out, or you might even already have. I know one thing I used to do that I should get back to as well. Just to put that slide up there of who, because if you already have them made, you can already do them for the class. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then just move on to the next one. So this is who's doing blah blah blah. You can already already embed them in there and rotate them out. You understand?
Got it.
I know you said astute, and that was for me a big word. You know, so if you use astute all the time and they know what it is, just reference the synonym for it.
Okay.
Or if you have it and it's up on your word wall, as in our word wall, state so you can bring that vocabulary in, because they're not going to raise their hand and say, what's this? Even though you've probably said it 20 times over. Or you can ask somebody, what does astute mean?
Okay.
You have to ask those that volunteer and the ones that don't volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
You have to call on those that are not raising their hand to respond. Mm-hmm. So-and-so, what does astute mean? You know, and then if not, from a champion, you have the person that does answer, provide the answer, and have them to repeat. Did you hear what John said? Then repeat what John said.
Okay.
You know, I tell mine, if you need help, ask for help. You know, like, if you need help, ask for help. And then the hands that are up will be the help. So they can call on anybody for help. And then when they call, then you have them repeat. Did you hear what she said? Then repeat what she said.
Okay.
I can't help but stop with, you know, what your woman invited one of the glows. And you have a well-managed classroom. But procedures for responses, and so as an ADHD or attention deficit student, or just that one that's not, just don't want to pay attention, I can't follow at times with the verbal outbursts, because I'm trying to hear, what is everybody saying? Because somebody's saying something over here, somebody's saying something over here, because they were so excited. So a procedure for responses.
Okay.
We want to, and then I know that you had to stop to tell a couple of them, sit up, don't stop, you know, little stuff. I know that much success is achieved through slant. When the teacher said, I had a video for you to view, when she says slant, you don't even have to stop. When you see them, you don't have to come over and say, so-and-so. Yep. All you have to do is say slant. In your small groups, how long was each station?
Each station is 20 minutes long.
Okay.
So of course you don't get to see that all on the video.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to know.
So we have 3 stations in the classroom, just so you know. So we rotate. So we might do a whole group instruction or a big group activity, a mini lesson, and then we break out into the rotation on the first day, and then the second day, of course, we do 2 extra rotations so that everybody gets to be involved in every station.
Okay.
And then we have a debrief where we come back for lesson review. So that was day 1, and so of course, kids going Lexia, they already know like their groups are in group 1 or group 2 or group 3, and if they forget what group they're in, we already have it listed on the wall, so they can just kind of, you know, refer to that, and they can look to the wall as well. With that being said, the first group, of course, was Lexia. The second group was a perspective taking activity that we were doing. So it was to set them up for the ANET testing, for something that we were going to be doing you know, in the coming week with regard to the unit test. And then also there's an activity that's coming later on in the novel, and they're going to have to take on the perspective of one of the characters as well. And then the other station was actually reading chapter 5. So we were looking to read chapter 5 and of the novel. So while I've been using audiobook and they've been doing some independent reading, I wanted to be able to read and, you know, and then be able to stop, answer any questions that they may have along the way. So that was the whole goal of the stations.
Okay. Have I showed you a double bubble before? Have we talked about this?
I've used double bubbles before.
Right. So in order to, so like, say like if an evaluator was in, higher order questioning is one of the teachers. Just have them to, as you're reading and you do your stop and jots, because you remember how long they can attend.
Right.
Have them to, okay, so stopping on your double bubble, how does she justify that? How can you justify that action? This is what happened. So take a minute and ask them those hot questions right there. on the bubble. She says every time they read, they should be responding. Don't ever read to them or have them read, whether they're following along or not. Always have them to be responding.
Okay.
With
questioning.
Because your kids use journals or books or something.
Yes, we do.
Put it in there.
Right. So we use journals to write in. Also, too, I have summary sheets, and those, so they're able to ask questions on those sheets as well, make predictions about what's going to happen, as we begin to further read into the novel. So I'll add the double bubble map in addition to those things. I think that will be really helpful to the kids. Okay.
And then what you do is, when you're time to assess them, you're going to take the questions directly
from the bubble.
From that.
Okay.
Sometimes you're able to share out. Sometimes you just have to keep moving. But you just want to make sure that those creative juices, those mind movies are going.
Okay, not a problem. All right.
Because that's one of the reader strategies, visualization.
Right. And so we definitely are doing that, and that's one of the ideas from the shoe perspective taking video, was we wanted to make sure.
But I saw them with the shoe. You had them writing something with the shoe.
They did. They had to actually do a visualization of what life was like for that person in the shoe, and then they also had to tell us, walk me through a day in the life of that person in the shoe. So, we got some very interesting responses.
I bet. I would love
from
to see
the
those.
children. Yeah, I actually have them upstairs, so they have some interesting ones. Anything else?
No, that's all I have.
Okay, those are all grows. I got a lot of work to do if I got all grows and no glows.
I told you the glows were the warm and inviting classroom.
Oh, okay.
The flexibility of the groupings and the
I didn't hear that.
The variety of. I said I liked that the shoe. I saw that. I was like, what are they doing? What did you ask them? I like that. I like how you had this warm and inviting, the flexibility in the groupings and the activities that you had in there. The well-managed classroom. The excitement and the zeal of the kids for learning. Everybody was on target. Everybody was on, with touching the mic, but I know him. So
it's interesting. There's one part in the video that I wanted to kind of bring to light, where I stepped out with a student and I was working with her independently.
Oh, I'm glad you said. I don't know why I didn't write that down.
Yes, I worked with her independently.
See, I have the needs of the student, small group. I don't know how long. This is the question right here. Yes. So, how many students in that class?
In that particular class, there's 17 kids.
And how does the one pull? I like the one-on-one. However, I would and because I don't know your students, I don't know their levels, but I would think that it would be more than just one that would have had.
Well, see, there was a situation that precipitated just the one-on-one instruction.
Okay.
So just so you know, the student was having problems accessing the material, so she had an outburst. And so we walked out, we talked about it a little bit, more so that she was still upset about it. So we called mom right there on the spot. So for me, that collaboration with the family was very important. I was able to find out what was behind the outburst, because it wasn't the assignment itself. And so she was able to tell me what was going on. She, the student and myself, we were able to all have this conversation, and we were able to walk back into the classroom. And figuring out where her point of confusion was, we were able to just have a short one-on-one conversation about where that was, because I didn't want her to transition into a station until she felt comfortable that she had done what was past her. So we stopped. I took that moment with her. The stations obviously went running completely fine. I was able to make all of the necessary directions to all of the students before I sat down to work with her privately. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
This was a little longer than we thought, but okay.
Because there's a whole bunch of stuff in there don't need to be in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.